you'd better be able to pick yourself up and brush yourself off. It comes from a quote from Mario Andretti. And if you don't know who Mario Andretti is, he's an automobile racing champion. And the full quote came like this: love what you do, believe in your instincts, and you'd better be able to pick yourself up and brush yourself off every day. While life is not always fair, it is manageable. It is a matter of attitude and confidence. Pretty good quote for the day. So, in light of that, I was doing a YouTube video, and I kept, hey Joe, and I kept screwing up. As a matter of fact, I left the screw up on there. It was my 4th try. I'm having a little bit of a rough day, and part of it, I really think, is the weather, and it's affecting everybody. Hey, Christian, it's affecting everybody. But I look at it this way: we're not in California. We're not where the fires are. We are very fortunate here on the East Coast. We're getting hit with so much rain. And I asked a bunch of people, hey Roy, hey rude boy. And I asked a bunch of people today that I saw, I said, how you feeling? Even my kids were low. My oldest was. She was really tired. And I thought, okay, I finished writing my 5th book. I'm writing my 6th, 7th, and 8th books. I changed my regular business. And I got rid of my office. I did all this. But what I noticed was a lot of things were not cooperating the way they should. When I knew to change my office over a year ago, I started working on it. And I'm very obsessive. And so what I did was, January, I sent a notice so that I would tell the landlord by June 1st I was out of there. I sent it to him in January. By law, I probably only needed to give him 60 days. So I took care of that. I took care of new mailing address, insurance, the security system, phone system, cable company, everything. Everybody screwed up except me. And people did apologize. First they kept saying, no, you're wrong, blah, 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 blah. And I went back, and thank God I had saved all my emails I sent to them besides the phone calls that I made. Now, thank God I am obsessive compulsive to a degree. There's a benefit to that for a lot of things. It absolutely works in sport, I can say. And I'm sure Mario Andretti would agree with that. And I'm sure when Mario Andretti, before he became a champion, and he was taking those turns, and I was a kid, I would listen to it on the radio. He'd be driving home from a camping trip, and there was, I remember doing this, and I was a kid, I don't know, I was like in 5th grade, and we'd hear, hear the race car drivers, which now just doesn't turn me on at all. But back then when I was a kid, I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. I was digging that. I was digging drag racing and the Indianapolis 500. Wait to get somebody that gets injured or killed, or you can see an explosion. Hate to say that, but why do you think I went in the Marines? It's kind of like the excitement of it all, right? So, in life, there's a lot of struggles, and like Mario Andretti would find out. And the quote that I gave on YouTube tonight was Frederick Douglass, and basically he said, no struggles, no progress. And so I realized that me really releasing my office after having an office for over 22 years, I didn't see it as a big deal other than the fact that I'm going to save about the amount that I could send my one kid to college for each year. It's like $35,000. That's not a lot for college, believe it or not, nowadays, depending on where your kid's going to go. But it's enough. $35,000 a year is a lot of money. So I realized that I wouldn't have to work as hard on bodies, but I would have to do a little bit more, maybe a little bit more paperwork. Maybe not. I found a new way today, actually. But it took me years to find that new way. It was new technology that somebody I knew in computers, they were telling me about it about 3 years ago. And they said, it's happening, and doctors who are smart are going to go to people's homes, and therapists who are smart are going to go to people's homes. So it took me 3 years to find this technology that would actually work for me because I'm very Jurassic. So there was a struggle with the mail, the insurance company, the landlord. Even though I did everything ahead and correct, and I've always been timely and more than timely. Okay? Because I think if you're me and you come from where I came from, which I didn't come from much, you really treasure, even if it looks like slave work, you really treasure that very first business that you've created and you still have and is bringing home the bread and butter. You really treasure it immensely. So you do things way ahead and you don't want to do anything wrong. That's me. So today I took care of a big chunk. I had to call a guy above a guy above a guy, and in the military you go to the first guy and the guy doesn't handle it well and you give him kind of chances. You go to the next guy. So you go corporal, sergeant, that kind of thing. Well, that's basically what I did. That's how I have run my business. And that's how I worked when I was working in corporate. I wouldn't go to the top and I got ticked off at something. I'd go right to the guy that gave me the message, and then go from there. And even though that's a big struggle, in the end, there's a lot more progress because then I learn. And in doing so, just like with things that are out of the ordinary, like having to go to court for something that was not your fault, something that was somebody else's fault, and maybe they shouldn't have done what they did, and then you have to go. Or ratting somebody out. I've had to do that. I remember talking to my old MMA coach last Sunday about that. Something happened. I was 18 years old when I was in the Marines. I had to do something that was very unpleasant, and I wasn't going to get backing from my lieutenants. Although they said it was a good idea, they really didn't want me to stick my neck out, but I did it anyway because I have to always complete things and do things right. I'm very obsessive with that. One of my friends, Nina Bovio, she said, "Are you impulsive?" And I said, "No, I'm compulsive." There's a difference. If I see something wrong, I need to rectify it no matter what it takes. So at the end of the day, I didn't realize how much energy I put into closing my office because I had so much energy, because you get energy from enthusiasm and then it drives you through. And I remember yesterday I was admiring this young man who's, I think he's 22 or 23, and he's a really sweet guy, but he's become a really good boxer. He's an amateur. And I watched his energy as he's interning in, I think, biomedical. And he's also taken a course. And he's training as a boxer, putting in good hours. And he's working, I think he's doing an intern at NJIT or something like that. And he's really brilliant. He's a great guy. And I watched, he said, "Oh, I have to go to the bathroom." And he galloped. "Hey, gal." And he galloped to the bathroom. I'm like, I love that energy. And then I looked over and I looked at a couple other guys that were older than me. And one guy just had like barely any energy. He was just like, not. And I thought, wow, I hope I move like that 22-year-old kid, Ali, who just leaped, skipped into the bathroom. It was hilarious to watch him, like, because I got that in here. But am I showing it out here? Well, I do, because I have to. And, hey, gal, I do because I have to. Because my job is, no matter how rotten things get, I gotta kind of joke around. And I like that. That I love about my job. Because I gotta be happy. I can feel for people. I can shed a tear for somebody, genuinely. But I'd rather bring them up besides being compassionate. That's what I prefer. So in dealing with struggling, I quite often bring on humor so that I can progress forward and bring upon a positive, enthusiastic essence. And basically, I don't know if any one of you have ever seen interviews with Mario Andretti. He's got that enthusiasm. I think he still has it. I think he's still alive, and I think he still has it. And when you have enthusiasm, you get more energy. And when you smile, you get more energy. And you also release more serotonin to your brain. So with every day that passes by, as Mario Andretti said, you need to learn how to pick yourself up, brush yourself off, and move along, even if it feels like the whole world is kind of against you. They don't want you to race. They don't want you to fight. They don't want you to have a business. They don't want you to close your office because maybe it's more convenient for them. I don't know. Whatever it is. Or they don't want you to complete writing that book. Or they don't want you to be in that magazine article. Or they don't want you to get that sponsorship. Remember, once you get whatever that is that you're going after, they might end up being your best buddy. And if they're not, well, que sera, sera, just like, goodbye. If they're going to be negative, you can't be around them too long. So, have a great night, stay safe, and be well. Food for thought.